Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about the new topic under the subject environment and ecological sustainability or environmental studies. Our today topic is concept of an ecosystem with food chain and food web. So we shall talk about the ecology and ecosystem. The term ecology was first invented by Ernst Haeckel in 1869. Ecology is defined as it is a branch of science that deals with the study of interaction between living organisms and their physical environment. Both are closely interrelated and they have continuous interaction so that any change in the environment has an effect on the living organisms and vice versa. They are so closely related that any changes, if any change is there in the environment, right, it will have impact upon them. Hence, ecology is often defined as the study of ecosystem. Ecosystem have basically two types of component, biotic and abiotic components. So first we shall talk about the biotic components. Different living organisms constitute the biotic component of an ecosystem and belong to the following categories. So the first biotic components are the producers. Producers like green plant and algae prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight, using the raw materials like carbon dioxide, water, and minerals. Minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, etc. Green plants and algae are known as photo-autotrophs because they prepare their food with the help of light. You can see here, autotroph means, auto means self, photo means light, troph means food. The next, which comes under the producers, are the chemo-autotrophs, which produce their food from oxidation of certain chemicals, such as nitrifying bacteria, such as nitrosomonas bacteria oxidize ammonia into nitrite, nitrobacter bacteria oxidize nitrite into nitrate, sulfur bacteria oxidizes H2S, hydrogen sulfide into sulfur. Iron bacteria oxidizes ferrous iron into ferric iron. Hydrogen bacteria oxidizes hydrogen gases. So these are the producers. The second biotic components are the consumers. Consumers are organisms that require organic matter as a source of food. They get their food by feeding on other organisms. Consumers can be further subdivided into categories based on the kinds of things they eat and the way they obtain food. So primary consumers are also known as herbivores, are animals that eat produces plant or phytoplankton as a source of food. So herbivores are called as primary consumers. Herbivores such as self-eating insect, leaf-eating insects, and seed-eating birds are usually quite numerous in ecosystem, where they serve as food for the next organisms in the chain. So how we can define the consumers once again? Plant-eating animals who feed on plant are called as herbivores, right? So herbivores are also the consumers. They are the primary consumers. So next consumers, under the heading consumer, we can see secondary consumers are the carnivores, are animals that eat other animals. Secondary consumers can be further subdivided into categories based on what kind of prey they capture and eat. Carnivores, which feed on herbivores, as a secondary consumers, frog, small fish, and tertiary consumers are carnivores that eat other carnivores like a snake, big fish. Why it is called a tertiary consumers? Because you can see the snake can eat the frog, big fish can eat the small fish, or animal that eats flesh of other animals are called as herbivores. So what we are going to see here, the secondary consumers are nothing but the carnivores only. The tertiary consumers are the carnivores. So omnivores, which feed on both plants and animals, human, rats, many birds or animals that consume both plants and animals. Detritivores, which feed on dead organisms, earthworm, crab, ants, or scavengers. What do you mean by scavenger? Means the animal that eat dead plant and animal matters. Next, we can see the decomposers, which also comes under the biotic component. These are the microorganisms which break down organic matter into inorganic compounds, and in this process, they derive their nutrition also. They play a very important role in converting the essential nutrients from unavailable organic form to the free inorganic form that is available for use by plants, bacteria, and fungi. So, what is the role of decomposers or microorganisms? Next component is the abiotic component. Various physicochemical components of the ecosystem constitute the abiotic structure. Physical components like sunlight, solar intensity, rainfall, temperature, wind speed, wind direction, water availability, soil texture. Chemical components like essential nutrients, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and micronutrients, iron, molybdenum, zinc, copper, salts, toxins like pesticides. So physicochemical factors of water, air, and soil play an important role in ecosystem functioning. Next, you can see energy flow in an ecosystem. An ecosystem is a stable, self-regulating. This does not mean that an ecosystem is unchanging. The organisms within it are growing, reproducing, dying, and decaying. The continuous process is going on. In addition, an ecosystem must have a continuous input of energy to retain its stability. The only significant source of energy for most ecosystems is sunlight, because producers produce their foods with the help of sunlight. Producers are the only organisms that are capable of trapping solar energy through the process of photosynthesis and making it available to the ecosystem. The energy is stored in the form of a chemical bonds in large organic molecules, such as carbohydrates like sugar, starch, fats, and proteins, right? So these are stored as a energy. The energy is stored in molecules of producers is transferred to the other organisms when the producers are eaten. So as we know that producers are eaten by herbivores. Okay, so how the energy flow is taking place in an ecosystem. Next, we can see what do you mean by trophic levels. Each step in the flow of energy through an ecosystem is known as trophic level. Producer, plant, algae, phytoplankton constitute the first trophic level. We can also see the figure. These are the producer. This is the first trophic level. How the energy is flowing from bottom to top. And herbivores constitute the second trophic levels. The herbivores, the second trophic level. Carnivores that eat herbivores are the third trophic level. This is the third trophic level. Carnivores that eat other carnivores are the fourth trophic levels. So this is the fourth trophic level. Omnivores, parasites, and scavengers occupy different trophic levels depending upon what they happen to be eating at the time. Organisms within the ecosystem can be placed in several broad categories based on how they obtain the energy they need for their survival. So in the figure, we can see how the trophic levels, producer, herbivores, carnivores, again, next carnivores, right? Here it has been so grass, mouse, and the snake, primary consumer, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Primary consumer is this, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. And you see the parallel decomposition is also good. So these are the trophic level. Next, we can see what do you mean by food chain and food web. Food chain is the sequence of eating and being eaten. For example, grazing food chain, which start with green plants and eats with carnivores. Examples, we can see grass. Grass is being eaten by grasshopper. That is also called as tida in Hindi. Then it is eaten by frog. Frog is eaten by snake. Snake is eaten by hawk. So how the food chain is going to be formed? Similarly, in case of phytoplanktons, it is going to be taken by water fleas which are the species swim by means of powerful strokes of the antenna. It is eaten by small fish. A small fish is eaten by large fish. So how the food chain works? Detritivore food chain also we can see, which starts with dead organic matter. Example, leaf litter, dead plant material in a forest is being eaten by fungi and then bacteria. So these are the food chain. Next, we can see food web. When food chains found to be interlinked and interwoven, these are the two words are very important. How they are linked to each other and how they are woven to each other as a network are known as food web. There are several options of eating and being eaten in food web. Hence, these are more stable. A food web thus provides an opportunity for food security for all organisms in a biotic component. A food web showing interconnection of several food chains in an ecosystem at trophic levels, at all trophic levels are shown figure. You can see here, in case of the insects are being eaten by frog, kingfisher, and hawk. So these are the food chain. Rat is being eaten by snake and vulture. The rabbit is eaten by the fox. So the food chain and the food web, how the food webs are going to form, the snake have lots of options. The snake can eat frog, herbivorous insects. A snake can also eat the rat. Likewise, the rabbit. Okay, the rabbit can be eaten by the fox and the wolf. The rabbit can be also eaten. Also, all you can see all have lots of options for their foods. Similarly, the vulture have also lots of options for their foods. So we can say that there is a good opportunity. What we can say, the food webs provides a good opportunity for the food security. So this is about the food web. So what we discuss now, that what is ecology, what do you mean by ecosystem, what do you mean by biotic components, abiotic components, food chain, food webs, trophic levels, energy flow in ecosystem. So these points we discuss in the today topic. Thank you.